Welcome to another episode of Next Medical Affairs. And to be honest, today we have a very special returning guest who radiates with a super special positive energy. Actually, I have to admit and say that she's one of my favorite overall pharma peers. So welcome again, Emma Booth. Emma, how are you doing?
Thanks, Dario. I'm feeling very good right now. So yeah, I'm exuding or ready to exude that energy.
Fantastic. So today we prepared some cool questions for you as usual. So let's hear your fresh views on the recent topics related to medical affairs. And the first question we should prepare is what excites you about medical affairs future?
I think, right now is a really critical and exciting time to be part of medical affairs. I think, we've made a lot of advances that were initially driven through the COVID-19 pandemic. And, many companies have continued that investment in digitalization, that investment in engagement. And, equally, technology continues to evolve. We have now this exciting interest in chat GPT and generative AI that offers further opportunities for not only companies to operate internally more efficiently, but also for physicians, other healthcare professionals, and patients even to start to get access to more of the information that they need. So for me, I think it's a really exciting time, equally balancing that with advances in precision medicine and individualized care, care at home. So all of these new opportunities to really serve the right patients with the right treatment and to learn from it and to continue to gather information that can then be fed back to further improve that care. I think it's a great time because in the end, medical affairs is that cornerstone between the internal organization and the external world. They're best placed to have a lot of these discussions, to be involved as that collaborative partner internally, but also to have those really exciting engagement opportunities externally. So for me, there are a few things that evolution of where medical affairs is going in terms of the types of projects and works that they will need to support, as well as the opportunity to continue to leverage these new and evolving technologies to best serve and to best be able to do our jobs.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, Emma, especially the part that medical affairs sometimes somehow is certainly maybe even the voice of the pharma company, right, by articulating the science and cracking the code of customer experience. Hopefully, let's find out very soon.
Mhm.
Next question: what kind of queries will MSLs and meta first leaders deal with in the future?
It's a really good question and one that excites me again because I think this our specialists in terms of medical information and those having the daily external dialogues, so the MSLs, I think we're going to face very different discussions in the future. If we manage to advance towards that opportunity with individualized patient care or precision medicine, we're going to have a lot more complex queries that will be coming. So a lot of the routine things will start to be served through, chatbots or other technology, allowing people to get that self-service and immediate response. So we're going to see kind of, I think, more automation there and less of that actually being required to be handled by individuals. But in contrast, as the world evolves and develops and medicine does, we're going to have, the opportunity for MSLs and, medical information experts and other medical advisors, etc., to be having those in-depth conversations that are more related to potentially risk scores of patients. We're going to potentially have physicians, asking not just, do you have, or basically, can you share information about how somebody with potentially these characteristics, and they may not be just based on clinical characteristics, but on proteomic, genomic information as well, and asking them to give an idea of how similar patients have potentially responded or progressed, or how their disease has evolved. So I think, the ability to manage more complex queries will be there. Equally, I think we're going to move into a space where we're going to be partnering more with the healthcare ecosystem and delivering more of this software as a medical device to support and go alongside medicines, which means again that there's going to be a different technology discussion and navigation tool that will need to be kind of brought and used by people internally, but also delivered externally as something of value. So I think that the evolution of queries and engagement will be exciting and will sort of mirror many ways the evolving technology as well.
Yeah, I fully agree. So the future seems bright, also challenging, but I believe that we can't achieve the future without change management, right? So how to lead and inspire people inside medical affairs, even beyond that, so that they really see that the change is necessary, critical.
Yeah, it's always that thing where we have to ensure that the future doesn't look scary, and indeed it's going to be, that beautiful journey is not an easy one to to get to. So I agree, and we've gone from that traditional way of having change management where we had one steady state and we always moved to another steady state, and that was our ambition, and we had maybe X amount of time to get there. Now we're in this, I guess for me, a kind of utopia, because I don't mind to work in ambiguity. But for many, it's very disruptive because there are continually bits that are changing. And, as we work with iterative approaches, it's never steady. So I think you need to have leadership with a very, very clear vision, and they need to be very invested in that. So they really need to not just, put it out there as an objective, but they really need to stand behind it and share what that really truly means, not only for an organization, but also for the external healthcare ecosystem and ultimately patients. So I think that's the kind of first part, is really having that strong endorsement leadership, and everybody coming behind it. There are ways to incentivize changes in behavior, and certainly that is often achieved by having people, we often refer to them as change agents, but really those subject matter experts that people can attach to, identify with within their own specific role, that they can aspire to be, that they can look up to, that they respect. And if they are attached to this change and building it for their specific area of focus, then obviously it adds in the credibility. And I think this authenticity and credibility is incredibly important. And it needs not only to come from kind of leadership down, but you need to also really engage that sort of middle management layer, because as we ask people to do more and bring more and more into their teams, it's those middle managers that can actually ensure that it's not becoming too disruptive, and let the work continue to happen. So you need to have not just those people that are change agents within a function that can really be that poster child for their area, but you need to also ensure that you've got the buy-in generally across the organization, so that functional leaders feel that they're empowered to set the pace and say and ensure that things are implemented at the right rate. And for me, it's always that you have to create that wave of excitement and engagement. So you do have to invest in your time. You need to know who your key stakeholders are, ensure that you're updating them, informing them, or working with them regularly. You need to ensure that you do very much tailor what they are interested in hearing. So, a platform for engagement, is going to be delivered very differently for a finance group versus a compliance group versus, more commercial team. And we have to ensure that we're hitting the details that are important, that are going to continue to get that organizational support that you need to continue on your path. And then really, yes, showcasing those, success stories, sharing them, and really introducing this idea of this is the change we've made, and ensuring that you're communicating always on what that's bringing back into the organization, so that as we feel these bumps and these challenges in that evolution, we also get to see actually how it's further creating value for either ourselves, for the business, or for patients, healthcare professionals. And so we're not just asking for this empty work. We're asking for them to do something that's going to create value and meaning.
Yeah, very interesting. Maybe you'll notice, but actually the longest answer you got for the third question related to change management, which I think is absolutely aligned with the biggest concern in the industry, and this is that technology is fine, technology is ready, but we always fail when it comes to change management, right? When it comes to lead and inspire people. And fully agree with every single word which you just said. And I would say that, long story short, the future is bright, but it's only bright if the people believe in it and if the people are willing to follow it.
Absolutely. I think it's really, this future is a very different leadership model that requires people to very much listen, to ensure that there's not too much stress, to create that safe environment. I read something just before about, if we want patients to feel that they are supported, then we need to ensure that the team around them feel that they're supported. And equally, we have a role to play in that, to ensure that healthcare professional teams, teams that are managing patients, do have what they need in order to do their jobs well. So I think, the opportunity for us is huge. We just need to ensure that we are, paying attention to not only the technology and everything that's shiny and new, but the people and, social behavior, the psychology behind a lot of what we do, because, we have the power or the opportunity to do a lot of good, and we need to ensure that we're doing that in the right way.
Fully agree. Thanks,
Mm.
Anna, for joining another podcast, another episode and initiative for Next. Really appreciate that. And looking forward to seeing you soon on some of the next events.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dario. Bye.